Alright, you might want to grab something to drink for this video because it's probably going to be long, okay? And you see what mine says, believe in the beauty of your dreams. And that was not even on purpose. It's like perfect for this video. Yes, okay. Grab something to drink and meet me back here. This video is extremely personal to me because growing up, I did not know anything about manifesting. I just knew that, you know, to pray to God and whatever you pray will probably happen as long as God thinks that it should happen for you. So, and mine is absolutely not done. Like, life is a journey in itself, but I believe that I have finally come to the understanding of how to manifest and seen, like, I guess, the fruits of my manifestations come alive enough for me to pick it and enjoy it. That was really deep. Anyway, so in this video, I am going to talk about how to manifest and some ways that you can do that. And so I guess I want to start at the beginning of my journey with manifesting. Right, let's get right into it. How to manifest. Now, what I would recommend before you even get started in this journey is to educate yourself, because before I started manifesting what it is that I wanted, I did a lot of thorough research to make sure that, like, the channels of my brain and my subconscious mind are open, right? So one book that I would really recommend for you to read is Mindset by Dweck. It's a great book and it goes over fixed versus growth mindset that really opened my mind. Psycho-Cybernetics is another great book that you can read, and Levels of Energy, okay? So those books will help you understand, like, how your subconscious mind works, as well as prepare you to receive information, because if you're closed like this, you're not going to get it and it's just going to hit it and bounce off, right? So you want to make sure that, like, the channels of your subconscious mind are open, okay? So let's get into how to manifest. Now, the very first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to visualize your higher self, right? So this is where you use your imagination and you think, if all things were equal and I could have the life I wanted or be the person in this life that I want to be, what would that look like? Okay, so don't think about, like, okay, today I'm a bum and that's just what I'm gonna be. No, think about it in the sense of, who do I want to be, right? So some questions to ask yourself is, what kind of work do I do? Like, I know with me, I have dreamed of being an entrepreneur since I was probably 4 years old. So when I'm visualizing my higher self, I am seeing someone who owns multiple businesses. For you, maybe you want to be a chef, or you want to be a fashion designer or a rapper, or whatever it is that you want to be. Visualize it. And you're going to ask yourself, what do I want to be? Where would I want to live? Like, where do I live? Okay, I know with me, mine was, I want a house on Fort Lauderdale Beach. I also want a house in Bowie, Maryland. I want a house in Jamaica. Like, you have to think about, where would you live? Okay, what kind of car would you drive? How would you dress? Okay, how does an entrepreneur dress? What would I wear, right? What type of experiences would you have? What type of things do you do for fun? Do you have a partner? What does your partner look like? What do they do, right? And so this is where you're laying down and you're imagining your higher self, because we all have dreams of what we want, and sometimes life will knock you down and you may not have the confidence to get there. But part of manifesting is realizing what it is that you want. So visualize your higher self and part of that visualization is that you're gonna have to take it to the next level. So once you have in your mind the type of person that you want to be, the very next step is to start doing research, okay? So let's go back to the houses. Get on Zillow, right? And you're going to look at these houses that you want. Now, it's okay if the house is $1 million and you don't have $1 in your bank account. That's fine. You're visualizing. You're looking at the house and you're like, okay, I want to live here. How much does this house cost? What kind of floor does it have? Like, visualize yourself standing in there. How do I feel when I walk through the door? How do I feel when I'm in my living room? Are my kids playing upstairs? Like, visualize, okay? Think about pulling in your car into your driveway. How do you feel? Like, these are the type of things that you think about when visualizing, right? Go onto Pinterest, okay? Pinterest is all about visualizations. Go on Pinterest, make a board of the type of dressing that you would do. If you guys see my Pinterest, it is loaded with all type of things for entrepreneurs, because that is who I visualize myself being. Okay, get on Pinterest, save the type of cars that you want, save the type of houses that you want, save the type of clothes that you would wear. Look at this stuff and just think wow, okay, if this is what I want, okay? This part is super important, because in order to get to where you want to be, you have to know where are you going? What do you want, right? If you're looking at houses, start going to open houses. I mean, they don't know if you have money or not. Go to these open houses, touch the wall. You know what I mean? Look at the floor. Just visualize yourself being there, okay? So you visualized your higher self, right? And again, Pinterest is a very helpful tool. Also Instagram, but you don't want to go on there and start feeling envious or having some type of jealousy towards other people who are living their life. You have to remember that you also will have this life. That's the purpose of manifesting these things, but do not be envious, okay? It's not good. So now it's time to manifest. The very first thing I would say is write it down. Writing down specifically what I want has changed my life. I cannot say this enough, and I'm not being corny and just saying this because it sounds cool. No, guys, literally write down what you want. It is so powerful that I have my journal right here that I got from Ross for $3. Dream big, okay? In this book, I have literally written down what it is that I manifest for my life, right? Literally 3-month manifestation prayers and goals. What I'm talking is what I do, okay? This is not just made up stuff. Write it down, because when you write it down, it forces you to actually admit this is what you want. You write it down and it becomes real. It's a concrete goal. And so when you're writing it down, what I would encourage you to do is to write action plans. So I have a 5-year action plan, I have a 1-year action plan, and I have a 3-month action plan. And from those manifestations that I'm writing that I want, based on how I visualize myself, right, I then create to-do lists. And now I'm working towards my higher self, okay? Next, I would recommend that you pray on it. Now, to me, manifesting is part of faith, okay? But whatever it is that you believe in, do what works for you. But for me, when I manifest something, then I pray on it and I ask God to guide me in the direction of my manifestations, okay? Next is to debunk negative thoughts. This is really, 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 really powerful, okay? And I'm just gonna get really real with you right now. You're going to have to like recreate your narrative and reprogram your mind. Okay? And it's not easy. You're not gonna do this overnight, okay? Because you have to retrain your brain. Okay? And part of doing that is realizing that things that you were fed about yourself could be incorrect, okay? Next one is you have to be uncomfortable to grow, and constraints will help you grow, right? Constraints cause growth. Now, I'll give you a personal example. I manifested entrepreneurship in my life, right? But I still had a job, a 9-to-5 or 9-to-6 job that I was going to Monday through Friday, right? And there was nothing wrong with my job. I loved my coworkers. Like, it was a great job. Like, it paid well, great job, all that stuff, right? But I manifested that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I'm in the mirror every day saying, like, I manifest this, I manifest that, I manifest entrepreneurship. Well, it got to the point where I got really uncomfortable at the job, and I don't know why. Well, I know why, because I manifested entrepreneurship, but it got to the point where I would like be telling Jerome, like, I do not want to go to work today. I do not want to do this. I don't want to do that. I did not want to go there. And I got so uncomfortable to the point where I just like pulled up to the job and I'm like, you know what? I cannot do this, right? So I'm not telling you to do that, but what I'm saying is I wrote down my manifestation and I was putting it into my subconscious mind, and I just got really uncomfortable because it was time for me, because you don't know when your manifestation will happen, but it was time for me to live in that truth, right? And so it was time for me to be an entrepreneur. And it's funny because as soon as I quit my job, I was nervous and I was like, oh my God, what the fuck did I just do? I was like, girl, and I started crying, and then boom, within 10 minutes, I'm not joking, within 10 minutes, my phone rang and somebody was like, hey, are you still into real estate? And I'm like, yeah, I'm still into real estate. And they're like, great, well, I need to sell my house ASAP. Do you think you can represent me in this transaction? And I was like, absolutely yes. Wipes tears, wipes tears. Thank you, God, because what I manifested is happening. And that transaction happened so seamlessly because it's what I manifested, okay? So you are going to be uncomfortable in some situations, but you have to understand that if you are manifesting something, you don't determine when and exactly how it's going to happen, but you know that it's going to happen. So just be prepared when that opportunity strikes, okay? And now third, my favorite, that is the identity shift. This is like the best part, right? All right, so already we visualized our higher self. We know who we want to be. We have written it down, right? We know what we want, right? We know what we want to manifest. We've written it down. We prayed on it. We're getting rid of the negative thoughts. We're working on our inner being. We're researching. We're getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Now it's time for the identity shift. And the identity shift is when you put all that into motion. You show up as your higher self. Okay? In the identity shift, it's basically like you fake it till you make it and you become it, right? So when you are doing the identity shift, the point is not to be fake. The point is to realize that who you are versus who you are destined to be are two different people, and you have to step into who you are destined to be. So let's say your higher self is a business owner. Well, it's time for you to open a business, right? Take the steps required to open a business. Let's say your higher self is well dressed. It's time for you to become well dressed, right? It's time for you to get on Pinterest and figure out what the people that I want to dress like and start dressing like it, right? How do they talk? Well, start talking like that, right? And so eventually what happens is when you are showing up as your higher self, you will become that person and your manifestation will happen. It's as simple as that. My identity shift, I literally wrote down the persona of who I want to be, like signed and dated it, right? And I also recorded myself speaking this, and I listen to it every morning and when I wake up and every night before I go to bed, because I have to remind myself what it is that I want. Because what happens is when we start to achieve our goals, right, and we're manifesting these goals and we're seeing it happen before our eyes, sometimes we will forget what it is that we really want and who our higher self is. So you have to consistently remind yourself and beat it into your subconscious's mind what it is that you like want to be, right? So I know that a lot of the things that I wanted out of life are like happening right in front of my eyes, and it's just like amazing because it's like, you know, I know that I wrote these things down, I know that I said I wanted it, I know I prayed for this, and I know that I worked my ass off to get these things, but then to see it just happen is like, so to see your manifestations happen before your very eyes is like a humbling and amazing experience. Like, I know the first time that I even drove like a BMW and I was like, oh my God, I cannot, but like, that's my dream car. And here I am sitting in this car because I manifested it, you know? And like, to wake up and see Jerome every day, an amazing man that I manifested, a tall, dark, lovely, loving person, is like, yes, I manifested this. To see my business flourish, yes, I manifested it. Like, I know I worked really hard for these things, but it's still a very humbling experience. So to say all that, I want to say that whatever you desire is already yours, but you just have to be aware that you desire these things, and you have to be willing to put in the work, write it down, pray on it, and make it happen every single day. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am dropping videos twice a week about entrepreneurship and real estate. Again, my name is Jada Brown, and I will see you guys in my next video. Have a great day.